When your old identity begins to dissolve, the version of you that once made sense no longer feels familiar. The habits, roles, relationships, and environments that once defined your life stop fitting in ways that are difficult to articulate. People often describe feeling disoriented, detached, or emotionally flat. They may say things like, I don't recognize myself, nothing feels the same, or I feel like I'm watching my own life from the outside. This shift happens because you are outgrowing the identity you once built to survive. Every person creates a sense of self based on conditioning, family expectations, personal history, and the beliefs that formed in childhood. That identity helps you navigate the world. It gives you structure, but it is not permanent. It was never meant to be. The falling away of identity often begins with subtle signs. What used to motivate you stops working. Goals you once chased feel hollow. Social circles feel misaligned or draining. Your body may resist routines that once felt effortless. This resistance is not laziness. It is a signal that your system can no longer support a version of you that has outlived its usefulness. For many people, this phase can resemble depression. You may feel exhausted, disconnected, unmotivated, or emotionally numb. You may withdraw from others. You may lose interest in things that once mattered. But here's the distinction. In an identity collapse connected to awakening, what looks like depression is often the psyche shutting down old patterns to make space for a new self. It isn't always a clinical condition, it's an existential restructuring. This is where the dark night of the soul often enters. Contrary to popular belief, the dark night is not simply suffering. It is a profound stripping away of what is false, outdated, or limiting. It is the moment the inner world goes quiet so you can hear what has been buried under expectation and survival. It can sound like, I don't know who I am anymore, or everything I built my life on suddenly feels unfamiliar. The dark night is not an end. It is an invitation to move beyond the version of yourself shaped by old wounds, fears, and external pressures. During this period, people move through several recognizable stages of awakening. While each journey is personal, the stages commonly include: Stage 1 is dissolution. This is where life begins to feel unfamiliar. Old motivations fade. The identity that once anchored you feels unstable. Many people mistake this stage for burnout or depression, but it is the psyche signaling a deeper shift. Stage 2 is known as the liminal space. This is the in-between. You cannot go back to who you were, but you cannot yet see who you are becoming. It is uncomfortable because the old self has loosened and the new self has not fully emerged. This stage builds tolerance for uncertainty and prepares you for expansion. Stage 3 is a serious confrontation with the self. Here, long-held beliefs, patterns, and behaviors surface. You may become aware of stories you have carried your entire life. Many people begin to question everything: relationships, career paths, spiritual beliefs, and personal values. This stage is not about breaking down, it is about breaking open. Stage 4 is a feeling of reorientation. You begin to sense new direction, even if it is still vague. You feel drawn to different environments, ideas, or ways of living. What once drained you loses its power. What aligns with your deeper truth begins to call you forward. Stage 5 is what is known as integration. A new sense of self begins to settle, not a performance, not a survival strategy, but the emergence of a more authentic identity. This stage feels like remembering rather than becoming. You begin to recognize that The new you was always there, waiting for the space to surface. Throughout these stages, it is common for people around you to react. Some may pull away because your growth challenges their own stagnation. Others may try to remind you of who you used to be because that version of you felt predictable or comfortable for them. But the falling away of identity is an internal process. It does not require permission from the outside world. The collapse of the old self can bring grief. You are not only letting go of an identity, you are letting go of the relationships and environments formed around that identity. But underneath the discomfort is a deeper truth. You are stepping into alignment. You are returning to the person you were meant to become before you shaped yourself around survival. When the identity begins to fall away, your new self does not need to be forced. It does not need to be built like a project. It reveals itself in subtle ways: clearer intuition, more honest desires, the ability to say no, the pull toward authenticity, and the recognition of what no longer resonates. If you feel the ground shifting beneath your feet, if you feel disconnected from who you used to be, if you feel something rising inside you that you cannot yet name, you are not losing yourself. You are transitioning into a deeper, clearer expression of who you truly are. Identity collapse is not the end of your life. It is the beginning of your life in its most honest form. You are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself that was built to survive. You are allowed to evolve into the version built to live, expand, and align. And as this new identity forms, your outer world will slowly rearrange itself around that truth. As you move forward, give yourself grace. This is a transformative passage that every awakened person walks through at some point. You are not falling apart. You are shifting into coherence, and the life that matches who you are becoming will meet you on the other side of this transition.